Hi, and welcome to our next class in our 4 classes on the golden calf and the sin of the spies. This time we're beginning the sin of the spies. At this point, I hope that you have gone through the whole page, you have formed your own opinions. I'll be happy if you have also uploaded them on the forum. I'll be very excited to see your feelings about this. And now I'm just adding a few thoughts to the whole concept that we spoke about in the class, and the questions that you went through on the class. So here we are. The first word I want to relate to is the word tool. Okay, taf vav resh, which I said in English is not very far from the word tourist. It means to check out the land, to take a look at the land, not necessarily to spy. And I ask you why they are not really spies. If you take a look at what is going on, sending a 12-person delegation is hardly a discreet matter. Just imagine them traveling around in a nice big van with a sign, delegation from Bnei Israel checking out the land. That is kind of what's going on there. It is almost impossible for them to be discreet, to pass under the radar. If you compare it with the spies of Joshua, you discover how a person should send spies. Goes with that when they come back, they report to everybody, right? Which is also not exactly a way that spies handle a situation. And so we see that the delegation that Moshe sends is a delegation, representatives, not spies. He's not truly spying out the land. The word tool, which appears here, appears in a very high concentration in our story, and very rarely in the Tanakh in general. Interestingly enough, it appears once more in this parasha, in this Torah reading, at the very end of it. Many of you might be familiar with it from Parashat Tzitzit. Lo taturu acharei levavchem ve'acharei einechem. You should not tool after your heart and after your eyes. The heart is your mind. Interestingly enough, someone commented to me that what you see with your eyes is very much informed by what is on your mind. And I believe that we can see that with our non-spies. What they saw in the land was very much informed by the opinions that they had formed about the land early on. So where was their sin? We keep speaking about the sin of the spies. Where was the sin? What did they do? Well, the different opinions, and this is where I ask you to form your own opinions before we start discussing it. I will share 2 opinions with you right now, and I'll be very happy to hear your feelings about it. The first person I'd like to discuss is Ramban, Nachmanides. Ramban feels that what they said when they came back and reported to the people was all true. And they should have spoken the truth. They were sent with questions and they should have responded honestly. And so they did. And Ramban says the following. Ki yesh lahem lehashiv imrei emet lesholcham. They should answer the truth to the person who sent them. Or in this case, perhaps the people who sent them, because they were a delegation in the name of the entire people. So where is the sin? Aval rish'am b'milah efes. Their sin, their evil, is in the word efes. When they say but, the word but is no longer an objective report. The word but is forming an opinion. They are stating their feeling about the land. The moment they say, but the land is so-and-so, they have already reduced the value of the land. And that is their opinion. That is not strictly an objective report about what can be found in the land. That's Ramban. Rashi does not seem to see a direct, should we say, sin in their initial report. Their initial report is honest, perhaps a bit scary. I don't know what the people thought about the fruit that came back. Perhaps this was fruit that they were not accustomed to. But what they said was the honest truth. People do live in fortified cities. This is the fruit. The land is good. There are lots of people living in the land. It's a bit crowded. In other words, the conquest is going to take some work. So where does Rashi see the sin of the spies? In what they say later on. Okay. In verse 31, the people, the delegation, except for Caleb and Joshua, say the following. Lo nuchal la'alot el ha'am. We cannot go up against the people. Ki chazak hu mimenu. Chazak hu mimenu can be translated in 2 ways. either, for it is, in other words, the people living in the land, it is stronger than us, or it is stronger than him. Rashi says, read it the second way. In other words, what you're supposed to read is, Kivyachol klape mala amru. It seems that they spoke towards heavens. In other words, the problem is not that the people living in the land are stronger than we are. The people living in the land are stronger than God is. Which one of them seems to actually work out to be the sins that involve the sin that involves the entire people? That we're going to discuss in the next class.